Hey there guys, my name is Salis and I'm here to present to you my top 11 games of 2011. This entirely subjective list is based on which games I've enjoyed playing from the last 12 months. So without further dudes, let us begin. First, I'd like to give some honourable mentions to two games, Dwarfs and Fortix 2. These games were entertaining, but after a while they do get repetitive, and they're not the kind of games I can sit down and play for any lengthy amount of time. But if you're after something you can play kinda casually and drift in and out of as and when, they're totally worth a look. Number 11. DC Universe Online. If you are willing to ignore what's happened to Sony, which has caused several people to lose faith in them as a company, this game is still as entertaining now as it was on release. The combat feels good. A lot of the powers are easily recognisable from comic books and movies, especially the new Green Lantern power set, which was released to tie in with the Green Lantern movie of 2011. The controls for a PC have been thought out. It's not just a case of, oh, it's a console release, I'm just going to port it over clumsily. You can use a gamepad, but I prefer the controls for keyboard and mouse. They're a lot tighter. And I think the main winning feature for this game is its voice acting. It is phenomenal. You've got such actors as Will Wheaton from Star Trek The Next Generation, Wesley Crusher, and he's also been in The Big Bang Theory, some people might know him from there, Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, and James Masters, Buffy the Vampire Slayer's Spike. They're also not afraid of throwing in the big DC Comics names. Batman, the Joker, Lex, Superman are all among the legends who send you on your various missions so you feel like you're genuinely part of the Justice League of America. The only downside for this game, as far as I'm concerned, is it's gone free to play quite recently, and for me that's always a good thing because it means more people have access to this fantastic game. But Sony didn't really think it through because they've only got 2 servers for the PC, and they filled up fast. It's resulted in overcrowding and therefore lag and some lengthy wait times just to get in, but once you are in, you want to stay. Because on the whole, this is a very, very entertaining game with some truly great content and well worth the time, effort and bandwidth it takes to download. If you want to see more, just check out my older videos. Number 10. Bulletstorm. This game has provided so much joy for me this year. Despite the script, which could be confusing at times and seemed like it was written by sailors for sailors, if you leave all that aside, it's still a good game. The gunplay is excellent, especially with the charge shot options, which can allow for some insane skill shots. And speaking of skill shots, the skill shots themselves provide some hilarious moments during the game, such as killing someone with a hot dog cart results in a skill shot sausage fest. You got Voodoo Doll for dragging them or kicking them into spiky walls, and other things like that. The look of the game, the whole aesthetic, is absolutely beautiful. It is really well drawn, really well thought out, and this is probably due to the design of Bulletstorm being done by the same people who designed Gears of War, so it's got that kind of Gears feel to it. The idea that you have to get skill shots to spend on ammo and new weapons, I think is amazing because it really gives players encouragement to try and find new ways of using their gun. New ways to achieve those kills, because obviously the more points you have, the better weapons you can get. And I love the leash mechanic, especially with the Thumper, because you can just take out like 5 or 6 guys in midair and get some serious skill shots on that. The multiplayer at times can be a bit weak and repetitive, but the game itself has other modes which allow for replayability, such as Echo mode, as featured in this short clip. Echo mode allows you to time trial different parts of the campaign, different chapters, and the idea is you get better skill shots, you unlock more stars, you unlock the next chapter to time trial, and it's really good because it actually gives you the chance to get some of the skill shots you maybe didn't get after you've completed the campaign. And it also gives you the chance to try out the different weapons, because occasionally, I know I'm guilty of this, there are certain weapons that I just barely used, if didn't use at all. I mean, on the whole, this game is one of the best of the year and well worth the money. So, go check it out. Number 9. Hard Reset. My god, was this a good shooter. This game, as you've probably already seen in my video Salis Plays Hard Reset, gave me a great feeling of nostalgia for old school PC shooters, and in my honest opinion, this is what Duke Nukem Forever should have been. I loved the cyberpunk style of the game, and the ability to wield up to 21 different weapons, Duke Nukem style, in the form of modifications to your NRG weapon and the CLN rifle. And it's truly amazing, because each mod for each gun feels like it has its place. Like, the shotgun is brilliant for taking out the little rat-style enemies, which come at you like 4 or 5 at a time, whereas the particle beam is brilliant for cutting through obstacles to a gorilla, or the lock-on target mode is brilliant for heavy grenadiers, which you have to avoid like the plague. So it doesn't feel like a pointless waste of the in-game currency, nano, to upgrade these guns. And the guns themselves feel like they have some real power, with the exception of the NRG, which shouldn't feel too weighty, as it is a plasma-based weapon, so it should feel light and space-age-ish. And I adored the absence of regenerating health. It was a real throwback to games like Duke Nukem 3D and Quake, which were fantastic in their day. Although, there were moments in the game where the autosave would kick in and you would have 1 health and 0 shields. That wasn't very, very good. But, that aside, the only real downside to the game is no multiplayer. I would personally have loved to see a co-op or even a versus mode implemented into the game. But if you're after a good first-person shooter with excellent combat and an interesting, if somewhat confusing, storyline, and a great range of different enemy types and weapons, then you can do a lot worse than checking out this game. This game is well worth your effort. If you want to see more, go watch Salis Plays Hard Reset. Number 8. Nitronic Rush. This is the only game that's made this list which isn't available on Steam or Gamersgate, and that's probably my own fault. I haven't really looked at free games outside of Steam, Gamersgate and Direct to Drive, but this survival racer first interested me when Total Biscuit featured it on his WTF series, and I was a bit skeptical at first because normally racers aren't the kind of games that interest me in any major way and keep me playing for any length of time, but this game drew me in big time with its art style, because I was always a massive fan of Disney's Tron. Yes, I'm a nerd, and this game reminds me a lot of it. The crazy speeds you can get up to can at times be hilarious, and there's a system in the game where you can gain more boost by either going through checkpoints, as is traditional with any racer, but also by performing stunts, because you've got thrusters all over the car, which allows you to take corners at ludicrous speed, which is awesome. And it even gives the ability to fly the car. That's right, you heard me, you can fly your car. And this adds a whole new dimension to the game, although it does get a bit dangerous, because if you barrel roll and try to land, you may end up on the edge of the road and fall off the world, or your wings may overheat and auto close on you, causing you to fall off the world. These have all happened to me. Despite its very short story mode, that's right, there's a story to this, there's still lots of replayability in the form of arcade mode, which is, as you would expect, a traditional arcade race mode. And you've even got the ability to download ghosts from the internet, you know, Mario Kart style. But you can also upload your own ghosts if you've done a really good time on a particular track. You can upload your ghost to the internet and offer other people the chance to race against it, potentially beat it, and it's really, really good. The game is free, what more can you want? And it is totally worth the bandwidth it takes to download. It's beautiful. And I will post a link to the page for the game download in the description. There is a torrent available, so if hundreds of people flock to this webpage, it isn't going to completely take it down, so use the torrent if you can, please. Number 7. Rock of Ages. Oh my god, what can I say about this game? I think the Monty Python style animation cutscenes, the menus are all absolutely hilarious. And there's a few references to pop culture in these cutscenes, like when you're facing Leonidas, you are actually facing 300 Spartans, and they do count them, which is funny as hell. The game itself is a rather bizarre mix between real-time strategy and arcade-style bowling. It's intriguing, to say the least. The way it works is, while your next boulder is being built, you spend gold generated during the bowling round by attacking your enemy gates and breaking things on the way down. The idea is to break down the enemy gates before they break down your gates and flatten them. And yes, they do scream like little girls. And you've got upgrades to your boulder, you've got towers. My personal favourite thing in the entire game is the fire boulder, because it's just so ridiculous. And the sound design is fantastic. There's some hilarious sounds played when you like flatten bystanders, and then when you flatten the enemy. It makes the game so much more entertaining. The bowling phase itself gets kinda crazy in some places, because you generate so much speed you forget that you actually have to turn, and then you fall off the world, and there's something quite rewarding about hearing a boulder scream. The keyboard and mouse controls are pretty tight, which allows you to balance the ability to generate gold by smashing things and maintaining the mass of your boulder to deal maximum damage. It is of course possible to fall off, like I said, and it does have some very, very good multiplayer. It's got local split screen, which I assume is a second set of controls on the number pad, but I haven't actually tried that out yet, and online, but at the moment every time I log in there seems to be no one playing it, so I haven't had a chance to really test that either. But it does give you a different game mode, Ski Boulder, which is like the classic arcade game Skee Ball. So if you've got a sense of humour, and let's face it, if you're watching this channel you probably do, I would highly recommend this game. It is funny as all hell, and it is totally worth the money. Number 6. Bastion. This game is fantastic. It won me over with its voice acting almost instantly, because the voice acting is constant throughout the game, and even just standing around for say 2 or 3 minutes will get a line from the narrator, and the narrator himself is brilliant. It's got to be some of the best voice acting I've heard in a game this year. And I enjoy the way the world spawns in front of you as you move towards it, because not only do you not really know where you're going most of the time, but it's a huge nostalgia trip for me, because as a child I enjoyed Toe Jam and Earl on the Sega Genesis. I don't really know if anyone's actually played that other than me. The artwork in this game is very, very good. It's cartoony, it's exactly what you'd expect from a game of this type, especially with the way the narrator at times can be a bit sarcastic, and it just adds to the whole feel of the game. And the mechanic I enjoy the most about this game is the ability to change aspects of difficulty without having to change the difficulty. For example, you do it by activating shrines, and the Shrine of the Bull, for example, causes you to deal more damage. But it also causes you to take more damage, so it's kind of a double-edged sword there. If I had to pick a downside to this game, which is very, very hard, I'd have to say multiplayer would have been a nice addition. A co-op mode for the campaign would have made this game even more epic. Especially if it was an online co-op instead of a local. But that's not to say the game doesn't have any form of replayability. Because you can do the campaign over and over again and it's still just as entertaining. And you can do it by activating different shrines. I mean, if you were to activate one shrine the first time, you could skip that shrine and do another one the next time. And change these different aspects around and it changes how the game works, really. And that's pretty much all I can say about this game. It's one I would highly recommend. It's a beautiful RPG. And it's totally worth your money. Enjoy! Number 5. Alice, Madness Returns. This is a game which tries to do a lot, and for the most part it succeeds. It's part RPG, part platformer, part spectacle fighter, with some puzzles thrown in for flavour, and each of these melds together really well into the gothic world of Wonderland. The RPG element takes place as Alice Liddell, and as you progress through Wonderland, you're thrown back to Victorian England to see how exactly this whole journey through her mind has driven her completely batshit crazy. The platforming aspect also works really well. This only takes place in Wonderland and is crammed full of your traditional things like different platforms you have to get to, of course, springs and killer geysers of tea, because apparently that's what's out to get you in Wonderland, the tea. And the spectacle fighter aspect again works really, really well. It's got some Devil May Cry style animation for the combat. It even slows down at times to allow you to really enjoy that kill. And the puzzles are kind of laid back and downplayed. They're mainly used as keys to open doors so Alice can get to the next area, and they just allow the player just a few minutes to just take some time off from all the platforming and combat and all of that stuff. However, the game is merciful. It does allow you to skip the puzzles if you're getting stuck. God knows I did. The voice cast for this game is actually the same cast who did American McGee's Alice back in 2000. And that is why I think Alice's British accent is as good as it is. It doesn't sound forced. It actually sounds historically accurate to me. And this game can and cannot be called a sequel to American McGee's Alice. It does have some references, but it's not that many. They're not key plot points, such as when you first collect the Vorpal blade, it's in the corpse of the Jabberwock, and I love that to bits. The Cheshire Cat returns in his usual snide way. The Hatter, he's back. I don't like what they've done with the Duchess, though. Stopped eating people. But on the whole, this game is actually a really, really good title, and I would highly recommend it to anyone. Number 4. Terraria. Some people have referred to this, wrongly might I add, as Minecraft 2D. Terraria has a lot of funny things running through it, like its art style is very 16-bit, and it's very 2D, so it's very, very cool. And there's a lot of things you can do in the game, whether it's exploring the caves or fighting the monsters. It's really, really good. Although, it is improved tenfold by its multiplayer mode, and I don't know what the limit is on multiplayer. I suppose it's designed down to who's hosting and bandwidth and the spec of the machine and all that stuff. I've only played with 6 other people, but I'm confident it can handle a lot more. There's been a recent update to Terraria as well, which introduces hard mode, which happens after you kill the wall of flesh. If you don't want hard mode, you just don't kill the wall of flesh. It's that simple. And this has improved the game a lot from when it was released. It introduces a whole host of other things designed exclusively to kill you, and it gives you more reason to defend your house at night rather than going out and just farming zombies. There are plenty of character customization options for this game, despite it being so basic and small. That's why it's only like 16 meg to download. It took me 5 seconds. It's brilliant. You can change hair colour, eye colour, skin colour, clothing colours. This is all just like your basic starting stuff. You do build your armour on top of that. And also there's 3 different settings for your characters. You can have softcore mode, where you only drop money when you get killed. So it's a bit like getting mugged. There's medium core, where you drop money as well as ammunition when you get killed. So it's a bit like getting mugged while holding a weapon. And you've got hardcore mode. This introduces roguelike permadeath. It can be quite funny in multiplayer, because if you drop sand on someone to kill them, or if they're on the opposite team, you can take all their stuff when they die, so it gets quite crazy. But if you don't want permadeath, you can still go for any of the other options, and if you don't want hard mode, you just don't kill the wall of flesh. It's that simple, and you can just enjoy the vanilla game. There is a crafting system in the game as well. I think this is mostly where people refer to it as Minecraft 2D. You can craft stuff like torches and workbenches and sawmills and stuff you'd use, as well as bathtubs which do nothing, and goldfish bowl helmets which you suffocate to death in. This game is incredibly addictive, however, and I've been told I forget to blink whilst I'm playing it. So if you want a game that's going to keep you entertained for a very, very long time, I would highly recommend this game. Go check it out. And at number 3 we have Magicka. This has to be, for me, one of the best games ever made. The artwork's fantastic, the design of the additional robe DLC can be hilarious. There's stuff like the Reservoir Dogs robes, there's the zombie robes, the tentacle robes, and the robes that are highly inspired by Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines, which makes healing almost impossible. As I said, the game has a lot of DLC to keep players entertained. It includes the PvP DLCs, the new challenge mode DLC like the Vietnam Rescue Mission, and it's recently had a whole new campaign added called The Stars Are Left, inspired by the Cthulhu mythology. It has a LAN online multiplayer for up to 4 people, and it does have a quick find system, so if you just want to play a game with people you've never met before and there happen to be one hosting, you can join. The game itself is loaded with references to popular culture. It's got references to Star Wars, the Wolfenstein games, Star Trek, and a whole host of other nerdy things that are pretty cool. There's even an achievement called This Is Magicka for kicking someone down a hole with magical spells. All these references do make some very, very funny moments, especially as part of the cutscenes. But I think the main thing that players remember about this game is the made-up sort of pseudo-Swedish that the characters talk in throughout. And it has been confirmed, by the way, Dunka Dunka is not Swedish for party. So, there we are, that's been confirmed. The story is based on your wizard and obviously your friends saving the world, and it's got a lot of time travel references in it. Like, there's the achievement for getting sent back in time by Vlad called 88 miles per hour. Very good reference. It does get confusing because you actually start and you're going to your own saving the world party, so it does get a little weird. The game itself is narrated story-wise by Vlad, who keeps insisting he's not a vampire, and he has some excellent lines throughout, such as, "You have no social skills whatsoever," So if you're looking for a fun dungeon crawler wizarding adventure, look no further. You would do a lot worse than checking out this game. Number 2. Sonic Generations. This is the game that, in my opinion, Sonic fans have needed for a very long time. After we've had years of terrible Sonic games, this reminds players of why Sonic is so awesome. It's fast-paced, which is everything a Sonic game should be. Again, just as in the classic games, the music direction is fantastic, with some brilliant remixes of the classic zones. The art style is fantastic. Green Hill Zone looks like Green Hill Zone to me. It looks exactly as I remember it. And, of course, the creatures that you play as are fairly cutesy. Tails returns, and he's obviously a cute little fox, and you've got 2 different incarnations of Sonic you can play as. You can play as the classic Sonic, which plays through their levels sort of 2.5D style, like you would in the original games. And you've also got the new Sonic, think Sonic Adventure era. The Sonic Adventure era Sonic has 2 abilities which help him get through the levels. Boost, which allows you to run clean through your enemies, and a lock-on jump attack, which I suppose is okay. It allows you to lock on to enemies and springs and increase your speed through. And I like this melding of 2 different styles. You've got 2 stages, as you would in most early Sonic games, of each level. One you play through as classic Sonic, one you play through as new Sonic. And I think this works in this game's favour very, very well. The level select screen is also a big winner for me, because you actually get to move your character around the level select and pretty much do as you please. You've got, on average, 3 stages that you have to complete in order to get to the next zone, and then a boss fight. But to get to the boss fight, you have to take part in challenges which are spread throughout the level select. Like, you've got speed challenges, you've got ring collection challenges, you've got rival battles, which are in my opinion, like mini boss fights. And once you've completed 3 of these, you get the key to the boss room. And these boss fights are, again, reimaginings of classic bosses, such as the infamous Death Egg from Sonic 2, which is a huge, thumbs up from classic players. In my opinion, this game has been a very long time coming, and it was totally worth the wait. If you're like me, a Sonic fan, go and check it out, because you will not be disappointed. And here we have it, my number 1 game for 2011, Minecraft. This game is absolutely incredible. I'm tempted not to call it a game anymore, it's more of a phenomenon. There's podcasts about it, there's music videos about it, there's been conventions, and so much creativity has been discovered because of this game. The basic game is very, very fun. You can build practically anything you want. I mean, you could have traps, you could have automated weapons with dispensers and arrows. You can fight off hordes of zombies, creepers, and skeletons, and spiders, and all that good stuff. And it's a game that has inspired people to create very, very good mods for it. There's the Aether, which is kind of like Minecraft Point 2, which gives you essentially another planet to explore with different items and weird magical things going on. And there's Industrial Craft, which introduces the concept of strip mining to Minecraft. You can dig up a whole host of new minerals that are introduced by the mod and build totally new things that aren't included in the basic game, such as nuclear reactors to power your various machines. And there's stuff like Tale of Kingdoms, which introduces a more RPG-like feel to the game by giving you your own kingdom and NPCs you can interact with and quests to do and all of that good stuff. And some people say the basic texture of Minecraft is it's not as good as it could be, and that's inspired people to make texture packs. You can retexture almost anything. Painterly do a brilliant selection of different options. You've got texture packs like Cobblecraft, which I use, as you've seen in this video. And all this has come about because the way Mojang released Minecraft, it encouraged mods. And this thing isn't going to go away for a very long time. Unless, of course, Minecraft 2 comes out and it's even better. But I can't see a Minecraft 2. I can just see better and better versions of Minecraft coming out in the future. It's got a great concept and infinite possibilities now. And that is why I'm pleased to announce to the YouTuberverse, Minecraft is my game of 2011. I am now on vacation until the new year, when I will return with more I'm bad at this footage, as well as my thoughts on various issues that may or may not crop up. So, from Tepid Tea Gaming, I've been Salis, wishing you a very happy holidays and a truly epic new year. But wait, there's more. I know some of you may be wondering, oh, but Salis, who won your giveaway competition? Well, I can now announce to the world the winner of the fully loaded Humble Indie Bundle, which includes Jamestown, Bit Trip Runner, Super Meat Boy, Shank, Night Sky HD, Cave Story Plus, Gratuitous Space Battles, as well as Crayon Physics Deluxe, Cogs, VVV, Hammer Fight, and Yet It Moves, is, insert drum roll here, Hook 361. And the winner of the basic Humble Indie Bundle, which is Jamestown, Bit Trip Runner, Super Meat Boy, Shank, and Night Sky HD, is, insert slightly less dramatic drum roll here, Triple 191. I really can't pronounce that name. So congratulations to the both of you, and I hope you really enjoy these games. I will be sending out your download links to your YouTube email inboxes, so keep your eyes peeled. You can either install it through Steam, which I've done, or you can download the games directly from the Humble Indie Bundle website. So, enjoy your games and have a great time playing them. I've been Salis, and I'll see you next time.